what message do you send? You can't pick and choose who you want to prosecute. The law is the law. It has to be across the board. And one of the biggest problems we have in this country is corruption at a very high level. And we have the head of WASA talking about severe corruption in WASA. Is there an investigation? Do they have any results? Have they come up with anything? You tell us there's corruption, you do nothing. What about HDC? The Prime Minister is now launching an investigation in HDC to talk about corruption. There's a perception that there's corruption in all these bodies for years. 9 years later, probably close to a local government election or a general election, you start saying, well, we've identified corruption, here we're going to investigate it. With so many facets, look at what came out on the Udicot inquiry. I mean, you're building all these fancy buildings and people are suffering. Could you imagine if we, God forbid, have an earthquake? The hospitals as it is probably can't even withstand an earthquake, but more so, they're overcrowded today, right now. How would they facilitate a natural disaster? They can't. Instead of building Brian Lara Stadium for $1 billion, build another hospital. So in the face of a natural disaster, we could look after ourselves. But that is not a priority of a government. Look at this scandal this week with the church. And nobody's disrespecting a church or their right to build. I mean, I have full respect for that. But the secrecy with which it's been veiled raises so much suspicion. And the Prime Minister going to Parliament to defend born-again Christians as though there was an attack on them, you know, raises so much eyebrows, because you are supposed to be non-partisan, non-religious, biased as a Prime Minister. And all sorts of things are now being revealed about this church that is being built. Now, the root of it is going to be national security is going to have to produce the work permits for these people, who they're working for, who gave them permission. It's going to have to be revealed under the Freedom of Information Act. All of these things will slowly be revealed. I understand so far the EMA has said that there's no CEC certificate. So that more and more, this whole thing will unfold, and we'll have to see who is paying Shanghai Construction the $30 million. Is it church funds? If it is, so be it. Fine, that's not a problem. But is there any link to these companies who have built so many things for the government having the opportunity to build a church for private citizens? Can you and I go and hire them and say, come and build our building? Would we get work permits? And the answer is no. And, you know, these are the things that really upset a country, because we have so much crisis and you don't deal with it. The major things are brushed aside. So when there's activity on the ground and lawlessness, and the average person reads the newspapers and sees what happens on a daily basis and the flippancy with which a government treats everything, what example do they set? And that's why we find ourselves in this state of confusion, and it just gets worse. The issues mount on a daily basis. We don't ever even get on this program to repeat what happened for the last week, the week before rather, because everything happens so fast, and it just is swept under the carpet and we move on. It's a natural order of the day. They bicker in Parliament, they criticize one another. As they say, Rome is burning, and you know, the confusion and chaos continue.